Iṣẹ́ lóògùn ìṣẹ́, múra síṣẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́. Something like that.
You guys, welcome to Yoruba Historical Conversation. What's your introduction to the concept of work? That the Yoruba will say ishe.
Alright, I think growing up, my first introduction was that popular poem we read in primary school, Ishe Logun Ishe by J. Odunjo. Yes, J. Odunjo. Ishe Logun Ishe. Yes, I think that's the one I know.
Iṣẹ́ lóògùn ìṣẹ́, múra síṣẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́. Something like that. Yeah. G of Odunjo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Ife, what line of these poems stick to your memory? Like
That part that says Ishe Lafin de Giga. So it just simply shows that work is an antidote to poverty.
What I love most about it is it tells us that even without having connections, sponsors, or godfathers, you can still become great in life just by relying on your work ethics. It's as simple as that.
So I feel the poem is a direct way. The poem is showing us a direct way of making it in life legitimately. You know, we've had people talk about you fake it till you make it, but this poem is negating such concept because you have to work before you chop. Sansoda said in his song, if you no work, you no go chop. Now when you dey work, you dey chop. So life is like a work chop. You understand? So you have to earn legitimately from what you're doing. It is normal. It's like a cogent omoluabi ethos. And also like the fact that it is relatable, it is scalable anywhere in the world. You know, even if you inherit wealth, you still have to work to earn your bragging rights.
So you work, you chop.
Yeah, you know work, you know go chop.
Everyone no go.
Life now work chop.
Everyone no go chop.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But haven't we seen people who really work hard yet remain in penury?
Yes, definitely. We've seen people that work hard and you say in quotes they're not rich or they're poor. And of course, we don't blame them. But I feel like Yoruba's the cultural view for Yoruba when it comes to work is not just work equals to labor as we feel it, but it is work equals to labor equals to productivity. That means you don't just work and just labor for nothing, but you have to show something for what you are doing. So that means productivity is the hallmark for Yoruba, like for our cultural Yoruba land. So work is not just Moshishe, Molosibishe, but work is Moshishe, and I am seeing the result of what I'm doing. Murere, how they used to say.
Yeah, and see that this reminds me about
Yes.
a particular Yoruba saying or is a proverb that says "Eliti koko eye lo mo olo." That is, your labor must have or will produce a kind of a desirable result for you to earn that bragging rights. I think Bulu made mention of bragging rights. So it means your work must actually project something about you. And once it projects something about you, then it becomes it emphasizes productivity. I think from that.
Yes, definitely. And there's another Yoruba adage that I also mentioned that aspect that says "Ibisheni Latin Monolole." So if I'm going to backtrack also to my earlier point, when you work and then labor and then productivity, it just shows that you work smart. That's just it. Working smartly. That is just the simple practical step to this aspect. So if you share Latin money, people just look at you and their perception about you is based on what you've done. So when people perceive you right and they say that you're productive, then you become a valuable person in the society. So people cannot give you that respect, so-called, in society when they don't see that you produce something from the so-called work you say you've been doing. So if you share any Latin when it just shows that from your work, people can be able to perceive the quality of work you do and your personality, and then they can say, oh, I can accrue this person as the best in what he is doing and is productive. Yeah, that is just it.
So in essence, you already said workshop. No, so it's not has moved from workshops to work smart.
Work smart, yes.
So you can chop.
Yes, work smart, chop.
Yeah, that's
so that you can also be a blessing to others. Not just working for nothing.
That's interesting. So in essence, work is your words, right?
Yeah, your work is your what.
Yes, kind of, but I think it also involves being diligent and excellent at what you do to the degree that it becomes a reference point for you in society. Let me put it this way: earning and retaining this reference point in society goes beyond winning yourself off poverty or getting results. There is a social connection between your work and society, which has to speak your work has to speak for you in society. Like your results have to show forth in society, and it requires your work having a notable impact on humanity before you can be judged worthy of the Akikonji badge of honor.
So I think he first started the conversation as with work, we share as an antidote to poverty. Then Bolu emphasizes the fact that your work shows you to be and being an homoluabi.
Yes.
Then Ewa is saying that productivity could hand you a badge of honor. That is the Akin Country badge of honor. So it's as though this the conversation is becoming broader and so
Coming deeper.
Ife, what do you think about this?
Well, I believe that, we initially mentioned work, labor, productivity. So I believe that in Yoruba society, the cultural view is that work should be a fundamental obligation for everyone in the society. Because if we are linking Omoluabi, Akinkonju, everything to work per se, and then we are saying work productivity, so that means for everybody in the Yoruba society, work is supposed to be a fundamental obligation in this society. You're supposed to do that for your country as a Yoruba person. So it is expected that everybody should take this as an important aspect in society. And there's this common thing that we now tag as a Yoruba anthem by Chief Obafemi in the
Yeah.
1970s. I'm trying to remember that song.
Shewa,
Lewa, yes.
fún ilẹ̀
ibi wa.
Kagbega, kagbega, kagbega fire.
Wow.
Wow.
So, and in fact, the second stanza also emphasizes the Commonwealth aspect of work by emphasizing the fact that
You have to work.
Kashishe,
Yeah.
Kashishe, Kashishe, Kajola. So, yeah.
I think Kajola is just like everybody coming together to uplift the
Yes.
country, to
Society.
uplift your society, like Yoruba society. Now let's work together to uplift society. So that means work is actually tied to citizenship. Work goes hand in hand, exactly, hand in hand with citizenship, and that's interesting.
It is.
That's interesting. So, Kosole Yoruba.
Everybody works for the betterment of society.
It's just like what I said earlier. This is where you're working that you must chop from.
Yeah.
You work, you chop. Life is what? It's a work chop.
Yes, I think I remember also saying that you work also to be a blessing to someone else. So it's like a collective way of
Yeah.
uplifting the society and also working together.
So, Kajola, working together for the betterment of society. Now you are now attaching work to citizenship, right? And I should ask Bulu, does this concept or this where we are driving work to not tally with what JF Kennedy, the former US president, talked about or give an admonition about? Do not ask what your country
can do for you, rather what you can do for your country. I think that's actually a very good idea because as an individual, what the best thing you can do for your country, your place of origin, is to be a good professional in what you're doing. Whatever you find yourself doing, whatever you find your hands doing, be good with it. Be a professional about it because that way people will tend to admire what you're doing, your product, your output, and then from there they can trace where you're from. Do you understand? So that way you're marketing your country, you're marketing where you're coming from, whether it's your village, your city, or your hometown, in let's say your agbole. Do you understand? So you have to do what you have to do, which is you work, being a professional about it, and then that way you are uplifting and you are marketing your place of origin.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees with it. We
Yeah.
work for development of our society, and
Yes.
if you want to be a citizen, citizenship comes with obligation.
Yes.
Yeah, so and that's I think that's a very interesting.
That reminds
Uh,
me, yeah, yeah. It reminds me about this particular song by King Kwam Yeah, Kwam I think there's a song where he says something about ẹni tí ò ṣe bí ẹ tí ó bá lè ṣe bí aláàárùn ní òyìnbó
kò
kò
lè
lè
ṣe
ṣe bí
ẹni tí
adébọ̀rọ̀.
ò ṣe bí aláàrù lóyìnbó
Kò lè ṣe
bí
bí
adébọ̀
man,
lọ́jà
nostalgic,
ọba.
nostalgic, yeah.
Yeah, that's this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
this
yeah.
is this is we can see the essence of work even in our music, in
Yeah.
poems, in music, and it's part it's as though it's part of
Part and parcel of our
yeah,
society.
exactly.
It's part of
And
your Olmodabi
It's part
concept as
of
well.
Yes.
then another interesting part of that song is that that was actually a true life story
Yes.
about a man who traveled to Lagos in the colonial times and coming back became wealthy from being a potter and all those things like that.
Adébọ̀rọ̀ story.
So it shows that our work, like work ethics, productivity is important. Is an important part of citizenship. So let's recap. What are the takeaways from this?
Work is an antidote to poverty. Yes.
Work is not just labor; it's productivity.
Yeah.
Mm.
Work is a pathway to becoming an honorable member of the society.
Hmm.
And I think one more thing, work is tied to citizenship. I will mention that earlier.
Then
That's
you work
true.
smart.
The Adébọ̀rọ̀ story also laid emphasis on the fact that work is scalable. You understand?
Yes.
They can be
Everywhere.
replicated anywhere and everywhere. Yeah.
Then we are forgetting the aspect of choice. Iṣẹ́ tí o yàn láàyò. Choose it because it is endearing to you.
So great. Putting all these together, how does these relate to an individual out there?
Thank you. Choose a line of profession that you love. Master it with diligence and excellence. Your ability to do this will make you, you start attracting opportunities to expand in this industry. Then, when being able to attain this expansion or the ability to be able to attract such opportunities will determine how prominent you become in society.
Now I'm wondering, is the our concept of work peculiar to the Yoruba society? Ife, what do you think about this?
Well, for me, I believe that aside from the Yoruba society, just like you said, that it's a global thing, I believe that anyone that embraces work and that hallmark of being productive definitely should have no business with poverty.
I agree with you, Fair, but I also think I love the fact that Yoruba people place an emphasis on it. I think that's what probably gave it to the saying that Irometa Kintoshi. It is practically impossible for poverty to outlive 3 generations.
Yes.
I think we had an interesting conversation on work. I would like to know what our viewers think in the comment section. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button for other Yoruba historical conversations and other video contents that we would like to share with you. Thanks so much. Yeah, share.